The third round is a great time to lock up a running back, and lucky for us, there's a lot of high-end RBs that are available at that time. A choice that I often see myself making is one between Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry. Both are great running backs, but which one's better? Henry has a lot of hype around him from last year. Even though he didn't have the best 2018 season, he still finished 13th in fantasy points among running backs. But if you take a look at the points he scored every single week, you can see that he was a liability until about week 13. Now this is when they started to use him more and more. And maybe if they used him the entire season, the numbers will be way different. Now, all of that sounds great and all, but you are kind of taking a big gamble with your third round pick. Remember, we want to draft to make sure that we have a secure player on our team that is going to be consistently giving us points. The thing that scares me the most about Henry is that he ended up being big in the second half of the year. And we see this all the time in the National Football League. Talk about people like Jeremy Langford and even Gus Edwards last year. But I haven't seen a running back breakout like this. The ceiling is crazy high for Derrick Henry, but there is just not enough big enough sample size to really determine what we're getting, especially when you're comparing him to Aaron Jones. Jones has been a valid flex starter for the last 2 years, and now with Mike McCarthy finally gone, the Packers might actually be willing to run the ball with the person who finished first in yards per attempt last year. You notice what I said there? First in yards per attempt, but he didn't even finish in the top 20 in running backs. He missed a couple games, but why wasn't he used more? I'm assuming that Matt LaFleur is going to come to his senses and actually give the man his carries. But even with the lack of carries, Jones still displayed consistency in all the games that he actually played. He missed a total of 5 games, 2 because of a marijuana suspension, and 3 because of a sprained MCL. There is not a lot of hype around Aaron Jones at all either. It's kind of surprising to see him fall this far, even though people are starting to recognize that he's a very talented player. This guy is ready to break out and possibly be an RB1. And honestly, so is Derrick Henry. So when it comes down to it, they're very similar people to pick, but you got to give the edge to somebody. And for me, I'm giving it to Aaron Jones. The bigger sample size is absolutely huge for me. Being able to look at that and see what he's actually been able to do consistently, it makes me feel way more comfortable when I'm making my pick. And yeah, they have a new coach coming in, so I guess I really don't know. I don't have a new sample size with all that. But can it really be less carries than what he got last year? And with Derrick Henry, again, I haven't seen enough. I think he's going to have an amazing season, and I think him as an RB2 would be outstanding. Maybe even an RB1, you could make it work. But I just don't trust him enough to pick him ahead of Aaron Jones. So when you're drafting this year, you see this kind of type of predicament, you got to ask yourself, do you want the guy who has a higher ceiling, like Derrick Henry, or do you want the guy who's going to consistently give you more points? Now, depending on how your draft has gone so far, if you got 2 people that are pretty solid, you can take the risk on Derrick Henry. But if you're feeling uncomfortable about maybe 1 or 2 of your picks, or you drafted a quarterback super early, I'm going Aaron Jones 100% of the time. I'm going Aaron Jones even when I have the option, and even when I feel like I want a guy with a high ceiling, he's still the guy I'm picking. I'm picking him over Derrick Henry every chance I get, especially in PPR leagues. I feel more secure with Aaron Jones, and I think that you should all be picking him over Derrick Henry this season. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, check out our social media, and check out our website and the podcast that's been posted recently. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and please remember to draft responsibly.